Go ahead.
So that's what's wrong with our community. Everything starts at the home.
You're right.
You can't rebuild people time they hit 12 years old. You can't. I hate to say, most time they gone.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because like I said, they do have 4 kids. I think they have 4 kids, and you want your well, not your spouse or your partner, but that's still their father. So you want to have him in a good light in their eyes. If you're a responsible woman, some people like to just bash him, like, look what your crazy daddy doing.
Brandon, this is 2022. People don't need no fathers. Fathers don't even make sense. They prefer not to have fathers.
You think so?
Because the only thing father does is bring toxic. Everything is toxic. He told me to clean the room. Toxic. He won't let me yell in the house. Toxic. He won't let me wear anything outside while I want to wear. Toxic. you know?
Right. But so do you think that's what a lot of women feel? Or is that just something that's happening? Like the black father not being there, or he's not being present or being pushed out?
I think a lot of, well, I could talk about our community. I think a lot of people in our community do not want to follow a black man. No, not introduced. Just don't want to follow or be under authority of a black man.
Do you think that has to do with feminism and the feminist movement?
It's a lot of things. Like you got, like I was going to do like a thing on this, how deadbeat man destroy women in their 30s. Like, you know, it's something called trauma. So imagine if a person been with a deadbeat guy. A deadbeat guy is gonna come off as an alpha. He's gonna come off as a street ninja. He's gonna come off as I'm running things, but his character is not there.
Yeah.
So you'll have a alpha, a top-notch guy on the outside, but inside, once they get to know him, it ruins the relationship.
Yeah.
And maybe some ladies bring that trauma to the next relationship. I can't follow. Last time I tried to follow a man, I caught an STD. Last time I tried to follow a man, our rent wasn't getting paid. Yeah. So that trauma keep going down the line.
Yeah. And then they're like, well, shit, I just might as well just do it on my own.
And watch this. A man, like you a man, right, Brandon?
That's correct.
Don't you submit to other mans from time to time as a normal part of your life?
And when you say submit, what do you mean? Like
a police pull you over? Are you acting? Are you acting big?
You have to play your role, right? No, you have to play your role when it comes. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be okay with that as a man, because that's just a part of life. That don't make you less of a man.
Or watch this. Your rent is due. Are you gonna pay that? You gonna pay that check to the man?
Yes.
If you pay that check, you kind of submitting, ain't you?
You are in a way. Mm-hmm.
So I think guys are used to submitting because we know if you don't submit, my opinion, you will get dealt with. Yeah. Somebody go deal with you in a man way. And I think some women don't think submitting is like, or following is like something bad, but guys follow every day of the week. If you got a job, you're following somebody.
Do you think we need something like this in a classroom for, you want to say high school, like a high school class on dating and relationships and stuff like that? Do you think that would be helpful? Because I think people don't.
It would not. It would not. Dating and relationship starts off when the child is conceived. Mm-hmm. So it's that relationship between the two parents that grows up to create a future relationship in that in the child. So high school, people are already set in their ways.
You're right.
If you know, a hoe in high school will be a hoe for the next 10 years.
But if you're not getting it at home, so when are you going to get it? You know,
you ain't going to get it.
So go ahead.
So that's what's wrong with our community. Everything starts at the home.
You're right.
You can't rebuild people time they hit 12 years old. I hate to say, most of the time they gone.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
They gone.
It's a tough thing to I guess to accept, but that is the truth. after a while, like you cannot get the whole out of you because that's just who you are. It's not like a character trait that you need to change. That's just who you are. And that goes for men and women.
And somebody go be in these comments talk about it's an engineering term called outliers. Well, I know so-and-so, they had a bad childhood and they made it to the top. Judge Mathis, he was in jail. He made it to the top. Well, for every Judge Mathis you have, you got 50,000 who ain't gonna make it.
Right. So, and that's true. And I get why people do that, so they can bring up the one scenario. So it'll be like, well, your logic is wrong. But no, not necessarily. We're not saying it's all across the board. We're talking about the majority, or we're looking at the numbers and statistics show that what we're saying is right. And we do need to fix what's going on at home. But if two parents aren't there, or if people are overworked and stressed, they stretch too thin, the child is not being raised properly.
And watch this. The term epigenetics. Brandon, watch this. Can I talk a little personally about you?
Go ahead.
When you and your wife conceive your child, right? What the trauma or the things that was going on in your life and the things that was going on in your wife's life went directly into your child.
Right. Yeah.
So if y'all was having a rough time, argumentum, your environment, all that trauma and negative stuff went into your child right then.
Right.
So when your child grows up, they grow up with that bad DNA.
Right.
And it could change, but it's hard to change that bad DNA over time once your child is born. Right. But it can be changed.
And not only that, like certain things when she's maybe was like 2, if she was scared of something at 2 and had a traumatic experience with it at 2, it's still present now when she's 6 and almost turning 7. Like trauma is so deep, and when just one incident can impact you for the rest of your life. So it's very important that you're mindful of what's going on in your children's life, and adults too. Like adults go through new trauma. You get attacked or something like that, you have to deal with it and seek therapy, talk to professionals to get past it, because you can't just experience trauma and get past it right away. It's not a light switch. You have to work through issues.
I could make a polarizing statement. If you broke when you had your child, it's more than likely your child will be broke for the rest of their life.
Okay. And what is broke, by the way?
Your definition. Everybody's different. Okay. If you're alcoholic when you had your child, more than likely your child gonna be an alcoholic growing up. Mm. If you living with the roaches when you had your child, more than likely your child will be living with the roaches when they grow up.
Right.
Do you see where I'm going, Brandon?
Yeah, it's like a standard is set, and that standard it can change, but that's still a standard. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll be accustomed to certain things, whether they're good or bad.
And it's in your DNA. Trauma get passed down in your DNA. It's in it. That's how your body. Okay. You know how slaves,
that's what I was just gonna say. Go ahead.
You know why black people are some of the strongest people in the black Americans are some of the strongest people in the world?
Why?
Because all that trauma, the hard work is passed down in your DNA.
Right.
You could take guys from Africa right now. They can't play sports better than black Americans because they never were slaves. Right. They never had to survive.
And that's like a good point. That's a good point. Because we technically we can be traced back to Africa, but we're just different because we do have different trauma in our DNA. So we're stronger. They may be able to run longer than us, but we are fast. We're normally faster and stronger and better basketball players. But I get what you're saying.
That's a good point. Back.
Go ahead.
I can push back a little bit. Nah, they can't run longer than us. We choose not to play those type of sports, Brandon.
Right. We don't train for that kind of stuff. I guess if we wanted to train, we could, but I don't know. But that is a good point.
And that's one of the reasons why people resist black people so much. They know if a black person, a black American, put their mind and heart into something, they go become the best. So that's why when a black player play hockey, get that black person out of here. well, a black person, NASCAR, get that black person out of here. When blacks start playing a quarterback, they didn't want blacks to play quarterback because they thought they wasn't too intelligent. This is the 1990s, people. they wasn't too intelligent. But look at us. Right. Some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now are black.
And every moment they try to slander. And that's one of the things I don't like about Stephen A. Smith. Like he'll try to go after the black quarterbacks for the smallest things, or just the ESPN in general. Like if Cam Newton has a bad game, he's the worst player in the NFL. When it's 25 other white quarterbacks that's subpar, like they're not even on the same level as Cam is. And, they'll just be like, oh, yeah, he's a great quarterback. It's so many quarterbacks that they'll just sign just because it's a white quarterback. They can't throw, can't run, can't do anything, but they're just a standard white quarterback. And even though Cam Newton is not as good as he was when he first got in the league, he still can play. He still can throw the ball. Same thing with Colin Kaepernick. They just throw him to the side and say, oh, he's not smart enough. He can't, they'll look at all the negative and not focus on the positive.
And at the same time, they will, Tony Romo, right? Mm-hmm. He won 1 or 2 playoff games. Mm-hmm. When his time was signed the contract, Jerry Jones, snap of the fingers, got the contract.
Right.
Dak Prescott, the same, damn near the same, kind of like the same record. Now they want to argue, okay, we can't pay you to go back and forth.
Right.
Lamar Odom won an MVP. He's in his contract year now. The Ravens got no defense.
Are you talking about Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson. Yeah. The Ravens got no defense. And this is the defense team. Mm-hmm. They won't pay this guy what he's worth. Why? Mm-hmm. Because of the color of his skin.
Right.
They'll do this. They'll talk about it, but they don't got no defense. Lamar Jackson could put 50 points on the board in offense. The defense will give up 52 points.
Right.
And they blaming him for the problem.
Right.
But when it's time for black people to come to the table with these companies, they always want to throw some damn hassling in there. You ain't never seen a debate or signing debate when a white quarterback or a white player came up to it. Christian McCaffrey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is how white privilege happened. Why the hell you'll pay a running back that much money and he got small thighs? All right. Look at him like you look at black players. A running back is a hard position and he got small thighs. Why the hell you'll pay him that much money?
Because they know his jersey is going to sell. They need somebody that's going to sell jerseys.
No, because he's white.
Well, that's right.
Hey, good day, everybody. My name is Louis, and I'm just came to let you know that I have the best financial book for black people on the market today. This book is designed to help you with things like student loans, housing, employment, and also create income streams so you can support your family and provide security for everybody around you guys. This book is black owned, and I use a whole lot of black companies making this book. This book is available on the link below. Make sure you check it out, guys. Check out my reviews. As of today, every person who read my book gave me a phone call about how great the book is, guys. Don't miss this great opportunity to earn some black magic, guys. And it's a quick read and it's entertainment. Look at it. I got strippers in the name. But the book is called From 0 to 200K. You can check out this book with the link below. Have a good day.